This is A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens, published by the Easton Press in 1975. This book is bound in this dark green leather, and as I'm about to show you, this is probably the worst leather I've seen on any Easton Press book, and I dare say this is the worst leather I've seen on any leather-bound book ever. It's worse than most bonded leather books, worse than any faux leather books I've had, and it's even worse than paperboard hardcovers that I've used, which have a fake leather grain stamped on top of them. This leather is extremely low quality, and it scuffs super easily. As you can see on the front cover, there's a big scuff right here. There's scratches all over the front cover and other blemishes. And that's just how easy this leather is distressed. You can see more scratches right here. If you take a look at the leather itself, it looks like it has a very, very fine grain. I'm pretty certain that it's either a super cheap suede leather. It's like scraps that they had lying around that they wanted to use, so they used it on this book right here. Or it's some super low quality leather, maybe not even real leather, that is stamped with this very thin grain. You can see that it scratches very easily. I can permanently... There you go. Now there's a new permanent scar on the cover. So it's definitely not good at all. If I take out this other Franklin Library book, it doesn't easily scratch with the same amount of pressure, and it doesn't have blemishes and other nasty marks all over it. The spine here doesn't look good either. You can see that it's worn off all over the place. Just scuffs all over the leather. Very low quality. But we do have these fake spine hubs. We have the title, the author's name, and we have a bit more of that gold embossing. And the back cover is basically the front, but with less blemishes. Although there is a dent at the top, which I'm not sure how that happens, but that goes to show how bad it is. Another pretty awful part about this book is the silk ribbon marker. It's just not good quality at all. It looks really thick, even compared to other Easton Press silk ribbon markers. They usually look thinner than this, but something about this feels really thin. Like it just feels like a cheap piece of fabric and not silk. The other ones feel like luxurious, smooth, and thick, while this is just, I don't know, it feels like a craft ribbon from Michaels or something. And you can see it's completely tattered at the end here. Super worn down. And it's also got a lot of sun discoloration. It's this ugly yellow at the end. Near the spine, it's also yellowed a lot. And it looks like it's starting to rip out. So it's not the best quality at all. But yeah, a very terrible leather on the outside here. On the inside front end papers, they are this not good looking yellow. It also looks like they were just extra and they needed to use them on some edition, but they didn't want to ruin any of the good ones, so they threw them in here. And we do have this dark spot. This is from a label being removed. That's not the fault of Easton Press. One of the few things wrong with this book that is not their fault. Here's the frontispiece and the front page. There's also a sticker in this book for some reason. I'm not sure who put that in there or why. Now, I gotta say, this paper does feel pretty good. It's quite thick, but it doesn't lay very flat at all. And this book, well, that's an understatement. This book has the tightest binding I've ever seen in an Easton Press book. It actively does not want you to read it and will do everything in its power to fight you to stop you from reading it. If I try to open it at the very middle, it just snaps up instantly, and there is no way to make any of the pages stay open. Even the whole cover wants to close. If you try to open it, you can see that I don't know what it is, but it's just so stiff. It just closes. as soon as you let go of it, it is absolutely terrible. Now, I do like thick pages, but these are like basically pieces of cardstock. They don't feel as nice as like premium paper made of like cotton rag or something. As you can see, they're very hard for me to skim through because they're so thick. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention is we do have gilding. So we have gilded page edges. It's not a terrible job, but it's not one of their best. It's about average. And then we do have these yellow and black headbands. Yeah, yellow and black, which doesn't fit the rest of the design of this book at all. So that's also quite confusing. There's nothing interesting in this book. There's no, oh, I guess I'm wrong there. There's an illustration. That's the only one I've seen. Here's another little one. But they are very, very sparse. And when they do appear, it looks like they're mostly the small ones. There's another one. Yeah, it's a bit hard to flip through this book because of how freaking stiff the pages are. It's basically impossible to read. And the end papers at the back are the same as the front. That nice yellow silk moire. Although even these feel thinner than their other silk moire. I'm not too sure why. But yeah, overall, I would not recommend reading this book at all. Not the story itself, but this literal book. For a brief comparison, here's another Tale of Two Cities I have from the Easton Press, and this one is so much nicer in every way. The front design is more interesting, the leather is a much higher quality, even the gilding, and especially the page gilding. The paper is that nice, thick, but it's not like cardstock. It's still very flexible. This book is packed with illustrations in comparison. Each chapter has one at the beginning, and there's quite a few colored ones throughout the book. And this book was published, and by the way, nicer colored end papers, this lovely off-white, kind of a cream color. This book was published in 1981, and it's printed on acid-free paper. Unlike this book, which I believe is starting to yellow because it is not printed on acid-free paper. You can see near the edges and near the spine, it's starting to get a little yellow in there. So it's not the worst paper, but it's definitely starting to age. So this is a terrible copy of A Tale of Two Cities, and I would not recommend that anybody reads this whatsoever. This specific book, of course. Overall, this is the worst Easton Press book I've ever had in my collection, which is a shame because usually you don't expect such bad quality out of them, but this is a good example of what the bottom of their barrel books can reach. That's all, and thank you very much.